Okay, great. So we're okay now. Thank you. Okay, excellent. And let's see. That's better. Yay! Thank you for putting up with my first official live. Say I did one on the Venezia a couple months ago when we were on the inaugural, and that one went not smoothly at all. We had it scheduled, we couldn't find it, so I wanted to get some software to make it easier. And I had it all worked out yesterday, and today, for some reason, I went on and the mic wouldn't work, and to get an admin panel, I got doubled. But I am glad it's working now. So let's see. Russ VP wants to know, is there a long wait time in the rides? Oh, like, so the roller coaster on the Celebration. So let me highlight that. They have a roller coaster, and basically you sign up for it in advance. I think you can walk up if they have space available. My advice to you, if you want to take the roller coaster on top of the Celebration or the Mardi Gras and the Jubilee coming up, is to go early in the week. Later in the week, sometimes it gets really booked up. Make sure you have a time. And sometimes it's not working due to winds or mechanical difficulties. So to have your best shot at actually getting to ride, I suggest signing up early in the week. And then if that doesn't work out, it gives you time to sign up later in the week as well. And I believe it's $15 per person you get 2 rides around, and it's pretty quick. So anyway, so this is my first cruise going out during holiday season. In 2017, my husband and I took a December cruise on the Viking Ocean, and we went to Europe and Africa. And I guess that's the only holiday cruise I did. But Viking, it was very, very subtle. They didn't do a lot of decorations. There wasn't anything terribly holiday about that cruise. I understand we're going to have great decorations on the Celebration. They're going to have some Christmas movies, maybe some Christmas oriented themed events. So I will let you know about that. They literally decorate the day before we get on the ship. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. One of the things that I did not know about going on a holiday cruise, or I kind of knew, which is why I don't book them very often, is you have to really plan your holidays out, especially if you're hosting. So I was just decorating for Christmas today, since we usually decorate the day after Thanksgiving, and that was not going to work this year. And we also have a cruise coming up on January 4th, right after the holidays. So we're putting stuff up early so we can also take it down early this year. So Clutch 246 wants to know, what are some future cruises I am going on? So besides the Celebration cruise, I have booked a cruise on Holland America. I'm going on a 22-day Antarctica and South America cruise that I'm very excited about. So that's going to be in January. And then very beginning of March, we'll be on the brand new Carnival Jubilee. We were supposed to be on the Jubilee's transatlantic voyage, their inaugural, and it got canceled. And the earlier we could get on, because we're going with a group of friends and family, would be the first week in March. So I'm really excited. That's out of Galveston, brand new ship, have not sailed out of Galveston, I think, since 2016. So I'm looking forward to both the port and also the ship. So those are the ones that I have coming up. We have not planned past that in 2024, because we've just come off a whole bunch of cruises this year, but we'll look around, see what kind of values we can get, what kind of casino offers we're getting, where we might want to go. So I would probably look for that more after the Antarctica cruise. One thing that we have noticed or learned about taking a cruise to Antarctica is it's a ton of planning. And even though we're not on an expedition cruise, we still have to deal with cold weather gear. Getting some of the excursions is really difficult, because these are very small ports, and there just aren't that many providers of excursions for you. And so many of the ones on the ship sold out almost immediately. We're looking at other providers, and we're on wait lists for that. So that takes extra planning. And yeah, so I'm very focused on that. I fully planned out now my Celebration cruise in 2 weeks. And after I get through all that, I'm going to start thinking more about 2024. So let's see. I'm hoping we get a couple more questions, but if you know me, you know I could talk about cruising all day long. So I'm excited. So for me, my favorite ship that I've ever been on for Carnival is the Carnival Mardi Gras. And that's a very good question. before I say this, Rusty V wants to know, how expensive could it be to go on a cruise? Uh, it varies. It can be very expensive to very budget friendly. So for a larger cruise ship, one that is not brand new, you can probably do a cruise for two people in an interior for under $2,000, and sometimes well under $2,000. Like, I get incredible deals from the casino program, Carnival Players Club for Carnival, and I get really good. I get very good offers also just from being a repeat cruiser. So I can sometimes find cruises for like next to nothing, just depending on if you're trying to fill a ship or what offers are available to me. On the other hand, you could take a very expensive expedition cruise to Antarctica. You could take a brand new ship like the Icon going out next year. Or you want to do a luxury cruise like Regent Seven Seas. You could be talking $10,000 a person. I think we did a Viking river cruise, which was our first river cruise in October of last year. And I believe it cost us about $7,000 a person. So it was very expensive, but it's very luxury, and a lot of things are included that you won't get included on your fares with the larger ships. Insight about the Mardi Gras cruise. Oh gosh, you bet. So the Mardi Gras, my all-time favorite ship. I have been on the Mardi Gras twice now, and it is the XL class of ships. So it is Carnival's latest class, and they're by far their biggest ship. I really loved it. Like, I just took my first Royal Caribbean cruise on Wonder of the Seas, which is currently the largest ship in the world. And I had a great time. I really did. But if you said you want to go back on the Wonder of the Seas for free, or you want to go back on the Mardi Gras, I would pick the Mardi Gras. I just enjoy the way that ship is laid out. I love it. It has great connections to the ocean. They have Summer's Landing, which is a pool at the back of the ship. They have the two outdoor pools, one on the Lido deck, one on the back. They have great entertainment. I love the center stage with the giant windows that open up during the day, and then the big digital screen at night. It just was, and then all of the food choices on the Mardi Gras are fantastic. I did a whole video just on the free food choices, and there are like 15 places you could eat, plus the specialty restaurants. So I really, I love the Mardi Gras. Let me know what else you'd like to know about it, because I've been on it twice now, and it's just an absolutely great ship, and you can get it for a decent price, because now it's going to be the third oldest of the XL ships, because we've got the Celebration, which was the brand new one for this year, and the Jubilee coming out. So I bet you get some really good rates coming up on the Mardi Gras. So let me know, Adriana, if that answered all your question. And if you want information on something specific, let me know on that. So what do I recommend to do on a cruise? That's a good question. And it's so, it is so personal to the person. So I enjoy, for instance, I'm a sun baby. I really like laying out in the sun. I want to go to a beach. I want to have that kind of fun in the sun experience. And if you ask my husband, he was like, no, thank you. I get bored on a beach. I want to dine. I want to try cuisines when we go various places. We both love the entertainment on a cruise ship. And I do like to gamble. I enjoy the casinos on the cruise ships much better at this point than I do in Las Vegas, for instance, or something. I haven't done that for years. And I enjoy the perks you get for that. But it's so individual. Some people just want to lay out at the pool for a week. Other people are really interested in the ports. It's really, it's like a very personal thing. Thanks, Adriana. I hope you get a chance to go on the Mardi Gras. Let me know if you've got something planned for that cruise. And it's kind of fun. It's going to be fun for me on the Celebration, because it's the same class of ship, so it has the same layout, but it has different theming to it. And of course, it's going to have a different squad. It's going to have a different cruise director. I'll have Lee, your cruise director. I had the fabulous Kendall Fire on my last Mardi Gras cruise, and I understand she's leaving for Jubilee. So I will have Kendall again in March. I think the Flying Scotsman is currently on Mardi Gras. So, even though the ship is the same class, I'm really excited to see the differences in what Celebration has to offer. And then Jubilee is going to have an underwater theme, which looks really fascinating and very different from what Carnival has done in the past. Wow, what cruise line do I recommend? That's a tough one. I generally enjoy all of the cruise lines I've been on, but for very different reasons. I could completely, even though I prefer Carnival's larger ships, I could completely recommend Royal Caribbean. I enjoyed it immensely. So that is, I would definitely take them again, especially on a family cruise. I think they would be marvelous, bringing along kids and multi-generational family. I think that would be great. For higher end luxury, I really enjoyed Regent Seven Seas. I took them to Alaska, and that's been one of my favorite cruises I've ever done. Um, I can't say there's a cruise line I've taken which I would say do not take. Now, there might be things I would tell you in a certain circumstance not to take. For instance, we're going to go on HAL. I have not been on HAL in like 10 years, I think. And if a young couple came to me and said, we are looking to go, we want to go out and we really like the nightlife, I wouldn't necessarily recommend HAL for those people because it tends to be older people. It just tends to be, they cater more to an older crowd. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just like I wouldn't tell a really elderly couple to go on Virgin Atlantic. So it just depends on what you're looking for. My mic is muted. So no, it's good. All right. How many cruises have I been on? That's a good question. Well, I've been on a lot. I tried to count it up at one point, and so over 20, but I'll have to get you the exact number because I started going like when I was really young. I got invited by my mother and my father-in-law to go on some cruises when I was in my 30s. And we did some incredible things. We went on a Radisson cruise, which was no longer exists, but it was this beautiful luxury cruise. I took my kids on a Stanford Mediterranean cruise when they were very little. So I started cruising back then, and I have cruised almost continuously since. I took a little break when the kids, like kind of in the middle when they were like tweens. But like last year or this year, I guess we've done 4 cruises all together. And I assume we'll do at least that many next year. Like I said, I don't have our schedule fully booked out yet. So, remember, what was your first cruise? Yes, Russ. I do remember my first cruise was on Radisson, which was to New Zealand, which was a really exotic cruise. It was really exciting to go on a cruise that took you to the fjords, and Radisson was like an upscale line, and I loved it. I loved the experience. And I still don't consider, I did that kind of cruising when my husband and I were working and no one was retired. And kind of those are like a bit like upscale. But I ended up, my first Carnival cruise was in the early 2000s. I took it with a group from my theater company. And so a whole bunch of us went together. I'd never done a large cruise ship. And I fell in love. I had the best time. I really enjoyed it. And so I've been doing both types of cruising ever since. The last cruise. What was the last cruise I was on? It was Royal Caribbean on Wonder of the Seas early in October, so about a month ago. And that was my first solo cruise. My husband couldn't make it, and so he's like, please go on and do it for the channel. And I really enjoyed it. It was a different experience cruising solo, but I would do it again. Sorry, honey, if you're listening somewhere. And I would also, like I said, it's a different experience, Royal Caribbean, but the specialty restaurants on Royal Caribbean are outstanding. So I kind of ate my way through that cruise, and it's a floating city. So I had the experience really feeling like I was in a city. I mean, it had a park and it had a boardwalk, and it was so huge. It was so much to do and see on that particular cruise. I'm excited for Icon that's coming out next year. Just looking to see if I missed anybody. They're doing well so far. So I think, what was I going to say? Oh, so going back to this this Carnival cruise I'm taking in 2 weeks for the celebration. It's going to be great. It's completely sold out. And I think it was close to selling out. And then the Panorama ended up having problems with the with their propulsion system, and so they've actually had to cancel a group of cruises, including one that leaves in 2 weeks when we leave. So whatever space was left got filled up by people who decided they wanted to take our cruise instead. So I have been on the Mardi Gras when it's completely filled for spring break. So I have done it. I do prefer it a little less full up, but it's a good ship where people get dispersed to a lot of different areas. So I think it's still going to be really great. I'm worried, however, that the casino is going to be just slammed and really, really busy because of the Ultra Cruise, and other people are there on like reduced fare casino offers, including not just the Ultra, which I found out from my Facebook group. So it's going to be packed. I hope I can gamble. I mean, I stay up late, so I probably will be okay if I have to wait out people, but it should be very, very busy cruise. Do I recommend cruise for 10 years old? Yes, I do. They are wonderful, especially the large ship for a family. Carnival Royal Caribbean, especially, they've got everything. They have children's programs. They have water slides. They have water play areas. The excursions are fun, and there's usually some that are aimed at kids. So I do think cruises are great for 10 years old. I think all ages. I'm not sure babies get a ton out of it, but it's nice if the parents, it's the only way they can go, they bring their baby along. So there's nothing wrong with that, but absolutely great for someone who's 10 years old. So again, back to the celebration. And I'm going to do this one a little different than I've done most, because lately I've done a lot of specialty restaurants, and we have not booked any specialty restaurants for celebration. Carnival's come out with a revamped menu in the main dining room, and we really want to try a lot of the main dining room courses out that we have not had a chance to try, and let you all know how that new menu is. And we also are, for the first time, going to take one of the cooking classes, which is cooking class with dinner. And ours is going to be on South American food, so Peruvian and Colombian, and we're very excited about that as well. What's the biggest cruise you were on? So biggest cruise ship that I've been on. So the biggest cruise ship was Wonder of the Seas, which is the world's largest cruise ship that I took last month. And then I guess Mardi Gras would be the second largest cruise ship I've been on. I have tended towards the smaller ships, except for those two. I really like a ship like the Oosterdam, which is the Holland America ship I'm taking for Antarctica. Is about 2,000 people. And I like that size of ship. It's just not as crowded. We took that size of ship, the Spirit, to Panama Canal, even though we never got to the Panama Canal, but that's a whole nother story about my medical evacuation and the broken ankle. But I love that size of ship. I think that you get to know the staff really well, and there's just enough on it that you're not going to get bored. Plus, you get that great connection to the ocean, which you sometimes just don't get on the really large ships. So, by the way, thank you all for coming. I knew there wouldn't be a ton. This is my first live since the Venezia cruise, and I'm just starting to get the live set up. I'm going to start doing them on a regular basis, and I really do appreciate you all being here and helping me test this out and giving me the questions. Let's see. So, let's see if I can. Hold on, Clutch. I see a question there. There we go. So what are my thoughts of Royal Caribbean? I liked it. My biggest downside, at least to Wonders of the Sea, and I was in my first non-balcony or ocean view room for this cruise. I ended up taking what they call a neighborhood view, which was an upgrade from a full interior. So you had a window looking out onto Central Park, which is the center area of the ship. So I got some light, but no views of the ocean. And I felt that it was an incredible experience, great time, lots of restaurants, like a floating city. But I just didn't get the connection to the ocean, which I crave, and which is one of the reasons I cruise. I didn't have a balcony. I couldn't see the ocean from my room. And from a lot of the restaurants and the other venues on the ship, you don't see the ocean very well. So I prefer ships that have a little more of that connection. The few places you could go out, most of them had very high plexiglass. And for wind guard, and those seem to be getting higher. And I don't know if it's because of all of the people who jumped off ships and they're trying to prevent that for safety. but I really like to be able to have the sea wind in my face and to take photos. I'm short, so if you've got a really high plastic barrier, I can't even take a photo when that's happened. And I did find a couple places on the ship, and if you look at some of my vlogs from the ship, I tell you where all the secret places I found. Also, there's a great area, two areas on deck 15 at either end where you can get outside. So take a look at my walking tour of deck 15 if you want to know where those are. The food, the specialty restaurants, best on any ship I've ever been on. Absolutely loved it. I think I tried every single specialty restaurant I had, what they call the unlimited dining plan, which let me try everything for no additional charge. From, I think the whole thing cost me $260 on sale. Well worth it. I dined everything from the steakhouse to the fancy Italian restaurant to the seafood restaurant, just like on the sushi, all of it, and then teppanyaki too. And I love that. I really loved the city feel and so much to do. And the entertainment was extremely varied. They had an ice show. They had an aqua show. They had like this superhero show with incredible like, drones and special effects. And I actually loved that show. And so they have incredible entertainment variety, which I also really appreciated. So those are the things I liked Royal Caribbean for. Is the food, let's see, is the food actually good? Yeah, yes, it actually is really good. So I think you're talking about the Royal Caribbean ship, Russ, and it was exceptional. I thought that the specialty restaurants were some of the best I'd had at sea, and I only tried the main dining room once, and it was fine. I'm not raving about it, but the food was hot and it was good. The service was outstanding. I overall wasn't crazy about the buffet on Royal Caribbean. It's very large, and I felt kind of overwhelmed by it. But I am not a big buffet person, and I tend to eat very few of my meals on a buffet on any of the ships. Let's see. I like food. I like food too, Henry. I love food, and it's fun to go on a cruise ship and not have to cook it, and to have a great variety of different things to eat, either at the buffet or at the different restaurants, free and paid. Let's see. Hi, if you just joined us, we're talking all things cruising. I'm taking questions and talking about some of my upcoming cruises that I've got on the Celebration, for Carnival, the Oosterdam for Holland American Cruise Line, and also the Jubilee for Carnival. Those are my three upcoming, and I just came off a Royal Caribbean cruise. Let's see. And as I also said, thank you again for all of the questions. There's no question that's too basic, especially if you're new to cruising. I love being able to fill people in and put myself in the shoes of a new cruiser. And if you're joining me and you're a veteran cruiser, I learn from you as well. So, tips and tricks. If you've been on the Celebration, I'd love to hear what that was like. If you've been to Antarctica or South America or on Holland America recently, I would love to hear about it, because it's been a long time and I'm still kind of getting information for all of that. So back to the Antarctica cruise. So one of the things I was very, very concerned about, I did wait too long to plan my excursions, because I'm used to having, I guess, a lot of excursions always available. And when I went and started planning about 3 weeks ago now, everything seemed like sold out. Not everything, but a vast majority. If you wanted to see penguins, it was like, good luck, it's sold out. You'll see some from the ship, but all of the special penguin tours were sold out. I really wanted to see penguins in Falkland Islands, especially. They have an incredible place called Volunteer Point. So I went on waiting lists for the penguin excursions, and I did come off a waiting list for Magdalen Island, which is actually off of South America. And so I'm going to see penguins, take a boat to a little island, and then I found an independent excursion for my cruise, where I will be going out to Volunteer Point. So I'm penguin happy, and I'm still kind of finding some more excursions for that trip. because, it's like a once in a lifetime thing and I want to see everything that I possibly can. Let's see. Is the pool? Yes, the pool water is cold. It's more, it's really hot usually when you're at the Caribbean, if you're going on a really kind of pool and sun-oriented cruise. And I do find it pretty chilly, but it's refreshing, which is really nice. On cruises that are cold water, like the transatlantic that I took on the Venezia and my upcoming Antarctica cruise, they usually will have a retractable roof over the pool, and that certainly helps because you can be outside and by the pool even in cold weather. I don't go in the pool a lot, but I do stay by the pool a lot because I like catching the sun, I like reading, I like watching everybody have fun. I did go in, the only pool I went in a lot was when I was right after the pandemic. I was on a celebrity cruise and there was no one in the pool, and they had like a little ledge area you could sit on, and I enjoyed that. So I would sit there just kind of half in the water, wasn't too cold, and I enjoyed that immensely. All right. Well, I think if that's everything, I want to thank everybody for coming and helping me figure all of this tech out. I intend to go live when I am on the Carnival Celebration in 2 weeks. So I'll do a little bit of streaming and all of our cruises. Frankie, hi Frankie, thank you for joining us. Which all of your cruises? Let me know so I can help you with that. And I'd love to hear a little bit about what cruises you have coming up. So, so Celebration. So I'm going to definitely live stream from the Celebration. And then I'm hoping the Holland America Oosterdam is supposed to get a Starlink upgrade before I get on in about, I guess it's just a month and a half now. Oh my gosh. And I'm hoping so because I'd love to live stream from Antarctica. That would be like so exciting. And I just would really like to get the opportunity to do that. I'm not sure I'm going to get a chance to because I just know I actually asked there's someone who's on the ship now, and I'm trying to find out if they've got the upgrade yet. So keep your fingers crossed. If not, maybe I will try to do something in Santiago before we get on the ship. But look for me live stream on Celebration. I have a ton more content coming out on Royal Caribbean. Everything. I'm going to do a SmackDown Carnival versus Royal Caribbean. What did I think was better? I've got my full review of Royal Caribbean coming out. I have a luggage review coming out. I've got some level 8 luggage that I'm going to do a review and put through their paces on my upcoming trips. So look for that. And I have a ton. I'm going to do something on the specialty restaurants as well on the Royal Caribbean trip that I just took. So I think, thank you. Anybody else? Any last questions before I sign off? Looking. All right. Yes. You have a question, Henry, before I go? Thanks for you're welcome, Clutch 246. Thank you for joining me and helping me get the live stream sorted out. I really appreciate your patience with the beginning when my mic just would not work for no apparent reason. And thanks, Henry. Thanks, Clutch. Thank you, Frankie, for coming. Russ, thank you as well. Like I said, I appreciate all of you. Adriana, if you're still there, thank you as well for joining us today. And I will see you on the Celebration. And I will we'll talk to you from there. Look for I've got some content coming up this week, so please look for some more videos. Thank you for joining. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button so you know when I have new content coming up, and hit that like button. It really helps me out with YouTube, so they know that you're enjoying my content. So thank you so much, and I will see you in 2 weeks on the Carnival Celebration. Take care.